the Sonic movies, or as I like to call them, the Yes Fans films. Recently, the Sonic 3 movie came out, and the response was very different from responses to other things from other franchises. The thing that hit me hard when watching all this was how happy these fans were to be happy. I know that sounds ridiculous, but toxic fandom, trolling, hating, and the money and clicks one can garner by hating on things has been a much talked about topic for years. Even I've thought about taking a break from praising Nami to hate on something and see if it will grow my channel. If you think the creators of these films always cause so many fans to be so happy, you'd be wrong. Actually, the relationship between them and the fans, starting from the very first trailer, from the very first film, had a much more unique beginning. Yeah, I know. And the fans weren't happy either. So many fans were ready to write this franchise off as another case of new creators thinking they could do better than the old, thinking they had to change things or make them more realistic or up to date. Most thought the Sonic design would have deadly effects for their attempt to cash in on a beloved franchise. But then, wait, they listened? This was the beginning of something so unusual, so refreshing, so commonsensical. Is that a phrase? It blew jaded fans away. A group of movie makers with a beloved IP screwed up, then admitted it, and took time, money, and effort to fix it. The next release trailer showing the new Sonic had a much more positive reception. The result to fan appeal was so extreme, it probably led to some of the speculation that the much-hated first offering was a ploy all along. I neither believe nor disbelieve this entirely. This would have been an evil genius level plan, though. The fans sighed in relief at the sight of the new and improved Sonic design, and began to really trust, the people in charge of this franchise. Which is unusual for fans now. Then the movie came out. As someone who considered myself somewhat familiar with the character, I realized Sonic had not only kept his classic look, but also his light, fun-loving nature, confidence, and love for animals. Amazing. But that's not all. Tails showed up in the after-credits scene. It showed his bright fur, two tails, and a gadget in his hand. Classic Tails. In the second movie, Tails was also Tails. Intelligent.
Where'd you get all these cool gadgets?
I invented them. That's kind of my thing.
Softer spoken.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Sonic. Is it okay if I call you Sonic?
And less confident than Sonic. He has always been a really good contrasting character for his hero, due to his opposite but still positive and lovable traits. Like in my first impression of these characters way back in the cartoon episodes I watched as a child, in the second Sonic movie, these two seem to be like an older, cool brother and a cute, little, nerdy brother, idolizing said older bro. Knuckles was not in that source material I watched as a kid, sadly. But the more I watched online vids on Knuckles, particularly before the actual movie came out, and also breakdowns of the first movie, I became even more aware of the Easter eggs, all the elements woven into the story that fans could pick up on. I also now realize, having watched episodes from 4 different Sonic shows, a zanier Robotnik worthy of Jim Carrey was already a thing. I might still prefer cold, stoic, psychopath Robotnik from my childhood, though.
I despise that miserable hedgehog Clark. Despise him with all my metallic heart.
I may well be in the minority on that one. And honestly, Jim Carrey Robotnik has won me over to a great degree. Knuckles, well, I love him now. He has won me over both in the movies and things I looked up about him. From the latter, I think they nailed him. Not an easy thing to do. And again, the fan pleasing blew me away over the course of both movies and watching reactions and breakdowns of them. It's like the fans said, "We want a more classic Sonic design." And the creator said, "Yes, fans. We'll delay the movie and spend more money to make that happen." Fans said, "We want the voice actress who played Tails and other media in the movie. And the studio said, yes, fans, we will cast her. Fans were like, we want a menacing, deep, confident voice for Knuckles. And the studio was like, Idris Elba, everyone. Fans were pleased. And you might ask, what's the big deal? I mean, this is business 101. This should be kindergarten level stuff. Well, it's just rare these days. I mean, it is. Want an awesome, confident Luke Skywalker leading a school of Jedi? Well, you get a peek at that in a couple episodes of a couple TV shows, but in the movies, not so much. Want a bright and optimistic Superman? Yeah, you'll have to wait for his resurrection and team up for that in the Snyderverse. Want Henry Cavill to stay in The Witcher show? Nope. Classic, old generational characters have been killed, replaced, and retconned for years in movies and shows. And fans are sick of it. Fans may not be able to tell you everything they will end up loving if you put it in front of them. In a Sonic film, fans can say creators might not be able to foresee everything that will be hated by them in their scripts and then on screen. A lot of the time, though, fans can tell you what they will love. They probably know best the old material and what they want to see or hear from it in the new medium or update. Case in point, there were lists of possible voice actors for Shadow soon after the mid-credits scene at the end of the second movie. Keanu Reeves was on it. Fans pointed out how he'd already been a successful, edgy, awesome, overpowered gun toter to great success. And lo and behold, how did they do that? Seriously, Tails voice actors playing him in games, being pleased to voice him in a hopeful blockbuster makes sense. Her agreeing wasn't guaranteed, but it certainly made sense. But Idris Elba saying no to James Bond? Keanu Reeves said yes to... Well, maybe that makes sense. Still, I feel like someone at the Sonic movie studio either is so much a fan they often know what other fans want, or they research the fandom on the internet and write down notes like a waiter at a restaurant. The Sonic films are a restaurant nice enough to have waiters and be popular, but not so snooty they guard the door against people not in evening wear, or say no to special requests. That's my point here. Those behind the Sonic films have so far said yes to fans, and fans have said yes in return. A big, enthusiastic, sometimes tearful yes. They even defend the film to Disney. Sonic lovers seem, by and large, to love these new Sonic movies. Now, they will say when they aren't perfect, but at a time, it seems like fans of other franchises are being accused of loving to hate what they love. Sonic fans are getting what they love and loving it a lot. And it isn't even an excuse that Sonic lovers are extremely easily pleased or devoid of hate, because, yeah, ugly Sonic isn't mean. Also, a lot of hate for Rachel's wedding and Bridezilla scenes are out there too. One thing you need to stay in business, though, is customers, viewers in visual media terms. Sonic movie makers and Sonic fans seem to be in a cycle of love with the makers of Sonic movies. A cycle of yes. And it's a beautiful and sadly uncommon thing. Here's to the investors, makers, and viewers of these movies continuing to do that for Sonic fans and reaping the rewards. Speaking of pleasing the viewers, if you found value in this vid, please like. If you'd like to comment, I'll try to comment back. I want to take my own advice here. And maybe subscribe and see if you continue to like other things I'll have to say. And now to you, my lovely viewers. God bless.